Hi, thank you for joining me today. And today's video I am documenting 2 photos of a very recent trip to see Elvis at the theatre in Liverpool with some friends. So it's a selfie of myself and Amelia, and then a picture of Amelia with her friend Claire and her mum, other way round, her friend Lucy and Lucy's mum Claire, who we've become very good friends with. So just matting those onto some white cardstock and then trimming that off just so that I've got a very slim border. This is my new Tim Holtz guillotine cutter. It cuts up to 8.5 inches and it's absolutely fabulous, but as you can see I'm left-handed, so I'm using it upside down. It's working really well though. I wanted to see how it would work for a left-hander, but it does work nicely. Tim Holtz and Tonic Studios do create some left-handed products like the glass mat that I'm using, and they've created some scissors which I'm trying out as well, but unfortunately they haven't thought about left-handers for their trimmers. But as I say, this seems to be working very nicely, so I'm not too concerned. So I'm just matting, the photos are 3 by 4 inches. I printed 2 onto a 4 by 6 paper, and I'm just matting them onto some blues and golds. I'm trying to keep the colours as blue, gold and red in this layout, and I'm creating a vertical strip, which is my favourite way of doing layouts. So at the moment, just matting those photos up, and then I have brought in some of the tape measures from the Simple Vintage Essentials paper, which I've cut up into the long strips of tape measures, and I'll be using those as the base of my vertical going straight up the middle of the page. But for now, I'm just going to mat these photos, and I'm trying really hard not to distress the edges this time. I'm trying to keep it much cleaner than I normally would, just to challenge myself really to do different things. So just having a look to see what else I've got. I find this scissors paper, and it won't show as scissors once it's matted. It just brings a different colour and texture into the layout, and I really like that. So just adding that layer, and then I can start building the actual page. So this night was absolutely amazing. It was 3 Elvis tributes who have won various accolades from the Elvis Foundation, and they just put on a show as if they were Elvis, but explaining that obviously they aren't. They just want you to have the feel of what it would have been like to have been to an Elvis concert, and we really did enjoy it. Everybody was up dancing and singing along. It was an amazing show, so I'd highly recommend it. If you see it, they travel around the country, do go and watch. A great bit of fun on a Sunday evening. So just, gosh, it's taken me a long time, isn't it, to mat these photos. Almost there now. At first, I do tear those bottom edges, which you've seen me do before, but in the end, I decide that they'll be better straight the way that I position the photos. So I'm going to use this film strip, the Salsa film strip from 49 and Market's Film Strip Essentials, as one of the layers behind the photos. And here I am just trimming those. I trimmed this one slightly awkwardly, so I do bring the trimmer back in just to get a straight edge on that, because that's going to be showing, the other edge won't be showing so much. I think because it's layered up on that photo, it really showed that it was too wonky, and because I'm not distressing the edges, I wanted a better finish. So here are those tape measures that I was talking about, or rulers, from the Simple Vintage Essentials. And I just love the way they look behind the photos, because I want to focus, as I say, on the blues, yellows and reds, and then bringing in some black to really make those colours pop. And these circles I'd pre-cut before I started filming. So that film strip circle is a die that we sell at Hey Little Magpie, and then that blue circle on the left-hand side is using the Hero Arts circle dies, and I just layered 2 together to get an outline circle. So I wanted to create another strip to go along vertically behind the photo, so I pulled out my notebook punch and this beautiful navy again, and I'm just going up the edge. I don't know whether I mentioned that this is Print Shop again. I'm using Vicki Boutin's Print Shop collection today, plus, as you can see, bringing in other bits and pieces. I've also got that title that you can see on the right-hand side that says Choose Happy, and that's an old Amy Tangerine foam thickers set. But when I saw that, I thought the colours would work really nicely with these photos. We're at the Liverpool Empire Theatre, and it's a very old traditional theatre with lots of reds. You can see particularly in that photo of Amelia and I, ornate ceilings with lots of different reds. And that title, it's a dark red, brown, almost like a browny red, but it just worked really nicely with the colours in the photo. So I pulled that out once again to try and use some of my older stash when I'm creating these layouts, just so that I don't keep accumulating things. So this is where I start to layer and decide to start gluing things down, because if I don't, I never will. And again, I'm forcing myself not to use splatters or mixed media behind this. I want to try and keep a cleaner look. It's just a little challenge that I've given myself today. So gluing that blue border onto that ruler, and then just trimming off the edge to make it slightly smaller than the ruler. And then I can glue everything down because I want that white one to sit next to the black ruler. I say white, it's cream, isn't it? But, you know, it's not black. So just using my wet glue to get that stuck down and trying to keep everything central and trying to keep everything balanced. So just bringing the photos in to check exactly where I want to put that film strip piece, and then adding some glue approximately where the photos go, so that if it does show through the acetate a little bit, you won't see it so much. So that's where the photos are going to go. So I'm just working out where these film strips are going to go as well. Now that blue circle is the leftover from the ring, that ring on the right hand side that I'd created, and the pink is the reverse of that paper, and the black circles that I'm playing with are the inside bits of those film strip die cuts that I've got. So I just kept those pieces to see if I could bring them in as well, and I do bring a couple of them in the end. So just having a play, trying to work out exactly where I want things to go. I really wanted to put that blue on there, but it was just too, I don't know, it just didn't look right somehow. And still playing with that title, deciding where that's going to go as well. In the end, I decide I want to bring in some of the gold. So I bring out this dotty paper and pop that behind there. And in fact, this is the only piece on the layout that I decide that I want to distress. So old habits die hard, don't they? So just using my fingernail to add a slight distressed texture to the back of that. So I'm going to glue these film strip circles down now. The photos aren't down yet, I'm just getting everything else in place before I add those. And this is a fairly flat layout for me. I haven't used any foam this time. I think that the elements that I add to it have enough dimension, with that being a foam title. So I just keep everything else fairly flat. So just gluing that down. And then I find this offcut from the, when I use that notebook punch, and I really like the floral reverse, so decide to add that as another layer behind the photos before they get stuck down. So playing with these circles again, and I decide that I do want to bring them in. I just think they're fun, and they extend that vertical line out to the right and left a little bit more. So this one I decide to use the pink side, and then the other one I use the navy blue side. So it's all different tones of reds. It's almost like a peachy pink, that. So it works beautifully with that photo. So just getting that one situated, trying to keep the balance and keep everything more or less central. And then I want to use this black piece, but I decide to just use half at the top here. I really like how that looks. And so, of course, to mirror that, I add the other half to the bottom right. First of all, sticking this strip down, I realise that it's not stuck down yet, so just getting that stuck down. I had tremendous difficulty with my glue on this layout. It's a bit gunked up. I need to spend some time sorting that out, because it's really frustrating to have to keep putting the needle in to free the glue so that it runs more freely. So here's that other semicircle that I'm adding to the bottom there. And it is on top of the acetate, but you don't really notice once it's down. So the title, finally decided to add at the bottom there. So first of all, gluing the photos down so that I can get that situated, because I do want it to overlap the bottom photo slightly. So yeah, I give up on that glue in the end and grab my Nuvo, which is very nearly finished. So So just making sure that I'm not covering Amelia's head on that one. So raising that top one a little bit more. And then there's that title. So that photo at the bottom was actually a selfie of the four of us that I took, but I had to cut myself off because I'd done it the other way round. So I couldn't get it to fit on the photo, so decided to just cut myself off because I'm in that picture of myself and Amelia at the top. So now I'm going to start embellishing. So I pulled out the sticker book from the collection, and I've just found that sticker that says Me Time that I've added to the right hand side, and then the little one that says Sunday Vibes that I've added to the bottom of the photo of Amelia and I. And now coming in with those Ticket Essentials from 49 and Market to bring the red in again. And that little heart is from the foam stickers that I mentioned before, the Amy Tangerine ones. So another ticket at the bottom here, and that's one of our canvas Flair badges from Hey Little Magpie. It just says love this, and I really liked the dimension and texture that brought in, and it's bringing in a different size of circle again because you've got the circles going around the photos. So a little tab at the top to add my date, and then a black bulldog clip. Now this is a new die set that we've got at Hey Little Magpie, and I just cut a set out in black, and I thought that worked nicely at the top of that photo. So bringing in a red stamp as well underneath that love this Flair badge. It's one of the canvas Flair badges. It is lovely, if I say so myself. And I've also brought in one of the resin dots in navy blue, which works nicely under there too. Again, just bringing in all those different circular elements. So that's a little butterfly that I've added there, and one of our little smiley faces, in the suede smiley faces. I do love those in that beautiful golden yellow. And now I'm going to add my journaling, and I decided to just add this around the two circles that we've got there. So on the bottom, I've put Elvis at the Liverpool Empire on a Sunday evening, and then around the other one, an evening at the theatre with Claire and Lucy. So now I'm adding some thread to that bulldog clip. So this is just a red linen thread that I've got in my stash. Wax twine would work really nicely. And just trailing that down the left-hand side of the page, adding a couple of dots of glue just to keep it in place. So now that's down, I can continue, and I find a word strip. I wanted to pull the line out slightly more to the right because that linen thread creates quite a lot of dimension on the left-hand side. I wanted to pull the line out to the right as well. So that sticker that I put at the bottom says, find what brings you joy and do that. And it really drags the eye out to the right and balances the layout a little bit more. I've just added a load of little scattering pieces from the sticker book. They're just black and white, or they're black hearts on a white background. And now I'm adding a little tab of ribbon to the right there, a black gingham, and then this red stripe. And then again for balance, I decided to add another piece of that black gingham to the left-hand side as well. I'm really enjoying adding these ribbon tags to my layouts at the moment. So just a couple of dots of glue, one to hold the two ends together and then one to stick it to the layout. So now adding that date stamp at the top. I just grabbed my black soot today. No reason other than that it was easier to grab. And now coming in with my We Are Memory Keepers whole reinforcer punch, just to add a couple more circles going right the way down that central line. I think I had 5 in the end. And then once those are down, I'm going to come in with my black enamel dots just to finish it off. So using my Nouveau Crystal drops to add some black dots around the page. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed this layout. It was great fun to do. This is based loosely on a sketch that I did for 30 Days of Sketches at the end of last year, I think it was. And it's a design that I'll come back to time and time again. I really do love it. So if you've enjoyed my video and haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you do. It really does help my channel so much. I'm enjoying seeing it grow. And other than that, I shall see you again very soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.